Good morning, or I guess it's good afternoon, suddenly homeschooling moms. Sandy Cook here again with Learning Able Kids, and I'm changing my approach just a little bit. We're still going to be in Overcoming Your Fear of Homeschooling, but based on the commentary and the frustration that I'm seeing from moms who are suddenly homeschooling their kids, we are jumping ahead to pages 28 through 30 today to talk about issues with defiance, emotional outburst, anger, frustration your child is having and you're having over this situation. One mom expressed resenting the ease with which other parents can homeschool their kids versus, parents schooling their kids with learning disabilities. It is a totally different ball game. And yes, when your kids come home to school like they have done here, you are going to see the emotional outbursts, anger, frustration coming out. Why is that? That is because when your child is in public school, if you've done a great job of raising them with good manners and all that stuff, they are not going to express their anger and frustration about learning directly to their teacher, and they're not going to do it in front of their friends because they don't want to be ridiculed for being emotional about it all. And most kids with learning disabilities are already teased and treated poorly a lot of times in school. So you will, I encountered it, and you will encounter these angry outbursts when you're trying to work with a child that has dyslexia, ADHD, Asperger's, or whatever. They have been frustrated in the classroom every day for however long they've been in school because learning is hard for them. And so as their mom, you are kind of their safe space, shall we say. Lucky you. It means your child will express their emotions and their feelings about learning to you. And so you have before you actually a great opportunity for helping your child with his esteem and for building your relationship with your child. And why is that? That is because most of the time when a child is acting out like that, they are expressing their frustration. They often have low self-esteem and they don't know how to express the fact that the learning is just hard and difficult and frustrating and demeaning to them. It lowers their self-esteem every time they try to do it and they can't do it. So for you as a parent, you have to keep in mind that it's not a behavior problem with your child, which a lot of times parents then want to discipline and that sort of thing, and that's understandable, but it's so hard. Hey Dina, thanks for joining me. It's so hard for parents because they see it as a discipline problem, but it really is an encouragement and a hope problem with your child, in that you need to give them hope and you need to encourage them and you need to work with them in a positive way. So, I talked briefly about the relationship building, and one of the ways you can do that is when your child outbursts, cries, gets frustrated, gets angry, ask them, what is it about this that is frustrating you most? Give them a choice to, a chance to voice it. And then as a parent also, you can encourage them, focus on encouraging them to do their best and to try hard, and reward them for trying and putting forth effort, not in being successful. And why do I say that? Because when you're schooling a child with learning disabilities, research shows it often takes, especially if they have memory problems, short-term working memory problems or long-term memory problems, that it will take upwards to 300 repetitions of one concept for it to stick into their brain. And so think about that. It's going to be a lot of repetitive teaching for you. It's part of what caused me to cry when I started homeschooling kids. Like, how many times do I have to teach this? And many times you have to teach this. And it's not that your child is trying to be difficult or not paying attention or, not trying or whatever. It is because your child genuinely cannot remember it and make the associations necessary for the concrete learning. So Therefore, you have to keep in your mind, have we done 300 repetitions yet? No. You just have to keep teaching calmly, repetitively, peacefully, and your child will pick up on your frustration. So if you need to give yourself a timeout, let's be honest, I had to give myself timeouts. I would get so frustrated. I would say, okay, we're going to take a quiet time break. You guys go to your rooms and you just look at books or do something quiet for 20 minutes and then we'll start learning again. And so we would do that, and I would go to my room and I would pray. I would pray about my inner frustration, my sometimes building anger, I'll just be honest. And, you have to self-manage yourself, because if you get angry back at your child, then you will further make it difficult for you to work with each other. So it really was, homeschooling was probably the biggest patience builder that I ever went through, because I did not want to further damage my child's self-esteem. Hey, Marianne, thanks for joining us. I didn't want to further damage my child's self-esteem by getting mad at him for not being able to do something that he couldn't do. And I realized that in order to build him up and to help make the experience be positive, I needed to stay positive. So that's probably one of the hardest things. And I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear from me today, but it is a tip for the long-term better, for making things easier for you at home working with your child, in understanding where your child's anger and frustration comes from and understanding what they're going through and trying to learn. It's just, if you keep trying to do something you can't do over and over and over and over again, you will get frustrated and you will get angry, and they're children, so they let it out. So as parents, we have to be the calm ones, the encouraging ones, the loving ones. And, like for me, it just became repetition to say, I know you feel like you can't do it, but can we just try? Let's try, do your best. Here, I'll give you a lollipop if you do your best. We actually instituted what was called the Blow Pop program. Think of something your child loves that you can use for an incentive for your child. And so for my son, he loved blow pops. And so if he did his lessons without screaming, tearing up his paper, throwing himself on the floor and crying and that sort of thing, then I would give him a blow pop at the end of the day. And I had them arranged in a little vase on the table with all, and it's like, just a reminder, like when I would see him starting to melt down, say, okay, just take a deep breath. Let's just stay calm. I would ask him if he needs a break. Let your child have a break if he's building frustration. Let him go walk around the house 3 times. We did that lots of times. There's all kinds of ways to dissipate the frustration building in your child when you're working on lessons, and to incentivize working on it as opposed to getting it. And so, that's just the biggest tip for parents, is to separate actually being able to do it from trying to do it. Because like I said, kids with learning disabilities, they require a lot more repetition, and you just have to go through it calmly and peacefully with them. So that's my big helpful tip for today. And based on what I'm reading on Facebook and commentary and in messages to me, I will choose the topic tomorrow. I've decided we are not going through the book sequentially, because I want to give you tips for the biggest frustration points you're experiencing now as fast as I can, because I know this is hard. It's very hard. So I'm here for you. If you have additional questions, if you have specific problems or behaviors you're trying to deal with, that sort of thing, feel free to message me, and you can either post it online, under the video, or you can message me privately through my page and I will respond. So wishing you a blessed day, and hope that it all goes more smoothly as you go forward. And I'm here for you if you need me. Thanks. Bye.